me that orange dry bag.
Yeah, that's probably the easiest. I mean, these boots are good. Like, they dig into the ground fine. That one rock right there, I didn't see it, and it's slippery. My bottle.
You want this, ain't you?
This is closed. Yeah, that's light. Good. That way we can kind of have like a nightstand.
Yep.
That's my chair, and your chair's in the blue bag.
No, you just be. Where'd you go damage? Now. Whoops. Yeah, that's made to stand. There you go. Stuff ready. Thing to the nose of my boat. I mean, that's good.
And I can actually get to your hatch stuff right here.
Okay. Be careful, that'll fall out.
Howdy guys, how's it going? So we finally got up to our camping spot here. We are staying on Deer Island, which is located in Philpot Lake in Henry County, Virginia. I gotta say, we're really pleased with the spot that we ended up finding. The way that these campsites work is you take and you make a reservation online, but you do not get to reserve the specific campsites you want. You have to pull up to the gate, then you paddle in, you kind of see where everybody else is at, and it's just a first come, first served basis. But we found a place right here. It's a bit steep here at campsite 8 and 9. But we worked it out. We got all of our gear up on land. Everything's strode out right now. Our first priority is going to be taking and getting our hammock set up. We've already allocated which trees we're going to use for that, because there's a chance that some showers might blow in on us. So that's the thing that we need to get done at the moment. And we're both going to be hammock camping. And this will be my father's first time hammock camping. So he knows, you know, last time, if you've seen the multi-day kayaking trip to Lake James, had a nice little siesta in a hammock. So it's one of the most comfortable ways to sleep out in the woods, and it's a very compact, small way to travel as well. Like, we brought way more gear than we need, but that just makes things that much more comfortable. So we'll scoot over here, and I'll go and get my system set up, and then we'll get him squared away. Okay, we're actually going to take and go ahead and get a fire going, just a small one. That way we have a little bit of something to ward off the few flying insects that are hanging around. Now, I just got this new arc lighter from SOL, along with some of their Firelight fuel cubes. These are supposed to have an 8-minute burn time, so absolutely no reason why we should have any issue with this. It is windy. I took and dunked this lighter over in the water. I held it down each time for about 5 to 10 seconds. Still works just fine. Don't even know how well you can see that, but it is, you know, wind waterproof. It's got that going for it. I haven't tested the flashlight out yet, but it's just kind of meant to be a last ditch backup. But this is like a really slippery, waxy like tinder. And it has like an alcohol smell to it. I'm not sure how easy it would light with the arc lighter, because I know that the cord that's with it is also tinder cord, so you could take and split this open, unravel it, and it's supposed to light and burn very well. Oh, okay, well that whole thing just took off immediately, so. Oh, okay, well, we've got the first fish of the trip right there. I'm good those fire cubes can burn for up to 8 minutes, because, yeah. Well, there we go.
All right. One thing, let's go.
So we got all of our hammocks and tarps and stuff strung up, so now I'm going to take and get our chairs put together. I brought my Mission mountain chair. My dad's going to be using it because it sits a little bit higher, and it's also like a bit of an oversized compact chair, if that makes sense, because all the legs up top just snap into place like that, and you can actually throw the top on it now and use it as a really low sitting chair. It's got nice pull tabs here on the end, so especially when you first get it and this thing's really stiff, it makes putting the seat on it a million times easier. And like I said, there you go, you can use it as a really low sitting chair. I'm actually thinking about using this as like a hunting chair this season, when like for a ground blind, and just leaving the other leg attachments at home. But yeah, then in here there's 4 more legs, and they're really easy to put on. You just match the angle of the insert here. They just snap in. They just have like a little retention spring there. And that quick, you got yourself a high sitting chair. I am going to be using my Click high back chair. It strays away from that common snap-in leg design, and this one just folds out, so it's a little bit of a quicker setup. You bring these up, let your legs snap down in place, and then the telescoping arms to the back come out, and just like that, your chair is already set up. And then it has a cup holder, just don't want to get that too close to the fire, that just slides in a notch right there, and you can have a canned drink or a bottle in there. So there you go. That is the 2 chairs that we're rocking with on this trip. I'll show you guys the hammock setups here in a minute. Right here is my dad's setup. I got my Sun Year tarp tent for a hammock. I just got the doors that would be normally closed in on the sides, tied up to the pull-out points that are on the center of the side walls right here on the back side. There's a good example of that. Then here is my setup. Got my Bear Hard 10 by 12 tarp, and then this is a Sun Year hammock. Then here in a minute, I got a new power station. I'm gonna whip it out. I brought a strand of string lights. We're gonna figure out where exactly we're going to put them.
No, it's fine. I was just going to
Will you get it? It's right there. Will you get it? It's right there.
Yeah.
Well, this up a bit.
Or I can use that little power back, can I?
Which one? Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm going to do.
Well, we got the most glamorous side around, dude. Oh man, that coffee, 10 out of 10.
I'm heading that way, man. Oh yeah, I put enough in it. Just got it right down to.
Okay.
I like to be able to drink it. I don't like playing around with it. Oh, Petey.
That's why I'm going this open top cup so it cools faster. It's very nice.
This is very nice. I'm getting my utensils out too.
And I'm just putting some pieces of fresh oak around the edges so it'll smoke it a bit. Right here's actually a piece of hickory. Yeah, this is hickory.
We'll do cup number 2 if you don't care.
No more. I mean, I had a lot. I had half of it easy.
Now this table is not the one we took to Lake James.
No, but I have that one too.
Yeah, but you know it's very steady. This one.
Yeah, it is. But and that's the light. Like I said, that right there is meant to be a backpacking table. Okay. I can get them off of these.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, one second. Tomatoes.
Right. There you go. Look at them bad boys. I'm tempted to take that knife and knock it off and cut this in half.
Yeah, me too. Hey, when I got it, it wasn't that sharp. Like,
You did a good job sharpening it. That's just mayonnaise. You know, we bought them chips. I don't know if you want any with this.
no.
Okay.
I'll eat some after though.
Okay. So here's that. And then the burgers.
Oh yeah.
Ain't no doubt it's gonna be good. Slow cooked like that. Oh, that's good. Oh man. Holy cow.
About time to hit the hay, but before we get our bed situation set up, I'm gonna take and get out my large new power bank that I brought with me. So yeah, this right here is a large vector power station. I'm not really going to get into the specs of this thing on this trip because I'm probably going to do a dedicated review video. This is a company that I hadn't heard of before in the outdoor space of power stations. But this thing is extremely well built and it packs a lot of power. So I'm going to set this up here underneath me so it's under the tarp. No dew, no moisture can get to it. And we're going to plug in some of our gear so that it can be charging. I have this power brick that I've been using throughout the day to charge mine and my dad's phone just as we're moving around, because it can move around with us a lot easier. This is type C. That's not the right cord. This power station has two type C outputs. This has a type C input, so we'll plug that in. Then my Blackfire speaker, we've been using that all day. It's only at like 80% now, but we can plug that into one of the USB outputs. Those are the two main things. I used my GoPro some today, but it should be fine because it didn't use hardly any power. I've got another type C cord if I wanted to run my phone from here to my hammock, but my phone's topped off now. Up top, you actually got wireless charging, so I could just take and set my phone on there. There is the display screen, tells you what the battery percentage is at, how many watts it's pulling, hours time till empty with whatever it is you're currently working with. There's the front panel. So you got two ACs out, got a DC out. That was another big reason why I like this power station, is because it seems like a lot of them will have USB and then like some AC, but then they neglect to have a DC out, which is really important if you're working with you know, a lot of outdoor appliances. So we'll let that do its thing. This right here is something I am super excited about with that glare. I don't know if you can see that. This is a Highland Hawk biddy bag, and I got this from militaryfirst.com. I've been looking for a biddy like this for a couple years now. I'm going to be doing tons of stuff with and about this, but tonight it's just going to be serving as a lightweight sleeping bag. It should be more than enough. I've got a woobie blanket with me. I'm going to take this out of the bag and use this kind of as like a pillow. I can slide it underneath myself if the convection becomes a problem, or I can tuck it inside this biddy bag and be nice and toasty. Yeah, this Hawk bivvy weighs absolutely nothing. It's got some really cool design features that we'll get into in a later video, probably one of the next videos that'll be up on the channel. We stick it in here. That's the foot. Because this thing has a zip-in face shield to make this thing completely waterproof, and also has a zip-in mosquito net for breathability and to keep like insects crawling or flying off of you. And both of those just zip out, and that's how we're going to use it on this one. I'm just going to store those back in its bag. And this is the type of stuff, like my empty sacks and everything, that I put inside this large hammock pouch. Shaking this thing out to make sure there's nothing in it. I'll just stuff this up in the head area. And I hope that flickering ain't too bad, because I run a piece of jute twine up top here to hang my lantern, because there's no way to hang them inside here because this is just the upper mesh, so there's no hook. The thing to do is give this thing a test run and crawl in here and see how it's going to work. Because I got to make sure this biddy bag does not zip all the way down. It's like probably about a quarter zip, about a quarter or 1/3 the way down. My boots are probably definitely going to be full of ants in the morning. I could take and scoot that remote dry bag over here and unzip it, put my boots in it, which I might do after I try this out. Just like usual, I'll probably just take and keep my legs and feet covered, take my upper body, do the side lay. Oh yeah, this is extremely comfortable. But yeah guys, that is the sleeping situation. So I got to take and watch and let the fire burn down just a little bit and pack up a few more little things that we don't want blown away or getting wet. So with all that said, I'll see y'all in the morning. We just got to mark the bottle, which one we want to be the fountain bottle, and which one to be the.
Okay. I'd just take your knife and cut the. I'll just disinfect my pan. I'll use this. Well, if I cut that up, where's that knife? Oh, thank you. Has this been pretty clean?
Yeah.
You spread it.
Just set it down.
I figured you'd.
Well, we get something for breakfast, I guess.
Well, what I'm saying is we'll save enough eggs. Get all. Yeah, let me do this. Yeah, this will be. Almost needs something under the edge of that stove. Level it up.
Yeah, one of the best ways to clean these pans is you go down to water and get some of the grit from underneath that's on the bottom of the either creek or the. These are done. What's hot?
Oh, here.
Move, watch yourself. Watch yourself. Move. ants keep crawling for the glory land, you know. Because all the sebs are dead. So. Well, he'd put a little gap in it.
Cooler tonight.
Well, I'll take this over sweating any day.
Oh no.
I think it feels very good. Okay guys, so it is the end of day 2. We just sitting around the fire. Done a bit of kayaking, attempted to do some fishing. Father caught a bunch of extremely small fish. And I just took and experimented around with a bunch of lures, but there was a bunch of stuff going around the lake today because it's Father's Day weekend, so you know it's kind of to be expected. Still a good time, lots of fun. We just took and fixed the leftover cheeseburgers. We warmed them up in a pan, had those for lunch. Just been snacking around, had some coffee. Played a nice game of rummy. My dad cheated. I took and wrapped things up, made a nice hot cup of peppermint tea in my titanium canteen cup, and that was very delicious. And then I come up here and made a few adjustments to my sleeping setup from last night. I got also, since the nylon straps stretch a bit every time you use this, because when you pack them back up, even though it's nylon, they do kind of contract back to their original state somewhat. So every time you take and break out a setup like this, whether it's your tarp or your hammock or your tent, the materials will stretch, so you have to take and adjust it if you're on a multiple day trip. Sometimes if it's brand new, then you'll have to adjust it a couple hours after the initial setup. And then I changed into some fresh, clean clothes and gave myself a shower with these bad boys right here, these combat wipes. Been carrying these around on the past couple of outings. They're really handy. They're biodegradable, so you can bury them and you don't have to worry about, you know, harming old Mother Nature. So what I did last night is I just started off inside the bivy bag, and it was more than fine. A couple of the hours right before early morning, with the convection underneath and the temperature dropping off a bit. I think it was like 59 last night was the low, 59 or 60, and with the convection there was a little bit of cooling underneath, so I just took and slipped on top of my weeby. I slid it underneath me, but it wasn't tied up at all, so it was kind of, you know, all over the place. It's really hard to control. It was just slipping around the inside of the bivy, and then the bivy slips inside the inside of the hammock. So I went and at the very bottom and the very middle, tied it together. That allows your weeby to essentially become a sleeping bag, and I'm mainly going to have that underneath me. I left the top untied, that way I can have it spread open, so the heat can dissipate from my core. And then since I was using my weeby as kind of a pillow the night before, what I've done was I took the stuff sack that it was in and I put a flannel shirt inside. So now that's going to act as my really thin pillow, because I don't need much lift at all, because I did bring inflatable pillows, but those things are a nightmare to try to use in a hammock for my experience, because I toss and turn a lot in my sleep. So they just kind of end up normally underneath me or just up towards the head. Tonight it is going to be colder. It's going to be getting down to 54 degrees and breezy. So, you know, once again, we're just battling the convection that you run into with hammock camp. In my opinion, it's too hot for even the lightest weights of underquilts, and I don't like using the sleeping pad in the hammock, so I think this is the way to go. So also I adjusted the height of mine just a wee, actually no it's not. To adjust the height of mine just a little bit where it's stretched. Since this Wooby is up in there, I also got to take and change socks. My right foot got a little bit damp. This side of the Wooby, and we want the tide parts to be like up in the middle in line with her body. That way we can kind of control the blanket better. So the easiest way to do that is to just grab the corners towards the head. Hold those while you kick your Wooby and straighten it out. Lean over, pull the bivvy up underneath you. Get her pillow situated. And then you can zip it up and call it a night. Having this, having the Wooby stuff sack like this, it kind of acts like almost one of those travel pillows, the way that the hammock allows it to like wrap up in and around your neck. So very, very comfortable way to utilize the storage bag. So anyways, that was the quick down and dirty rundown of today. So I'm going to hit the hay and I will see y'all in the morning. Like this is like I'm recording, but it's going to be a time lapse, so like no audio. You can that black chair right there sits about almost 3 or 4 inches higher than this one.
Oh, I know. Yep. Oh yeah. Well, they've been in keeping them in that bag, I think, where they've been cooking in the.
We just take and do this.
We're taking some eggs.
I mean, I cleared most of my stuff out pretty good.
Let me lock this down. Wait a minute.
I'm good, I got it.
Yeah, you need it straight.
Alrighty guys, that is the end of this 2-night, 3-day trip here at Deer Island. It was really nice. We got very, very lucky with some nice cool weather. Last night it actually got a little bit chilly in the hammocks without having a under quilt or a pad underneath us, but all went well. We're like 99% packed, and we're going to be paddling out. So I appreciate y'all coming along for this trip. As always, make sure you thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already, hit that notification bell. If you're interested in any of the gear, I will link to everything that I have a linkable option to. Feel free to hit me up in the comment sections, thoughts, opinions, this, that, or the other, whatever crosses your mind. With all that said, until the next one, guys, adios.